constant reminders of the convergence of business, technology, life sciences, of course, healthcare. And where better to look for that example than the Imperial College Business School, part of the prestigious Imperial College. I'm delighted to welcome Professor Markus Perkman, who is the academic director of the suite of MBA programs at the business school. Markus, thank you very much for joining us at the Centre Court MBA Festival. And there we see that vibrant part of London behind you, and the business school nestled between the Royal Albert Hall and the Serpentine, a great part of the world to be. Maybe we can start there in terms of Imperial College and the business school, and how the setting, London itself, and just the sort of the mission of the school, how that really translates into the experience at the business school.
Yes, hello. Our business school is part of Imperial College London, which is a top 10 global university. It's a technology university, and so our business school is in the middle of what's happening at Imperial. So in our school, what we emphasize is to educate leaders who know how to deploy a technology for the good of organizations and for having an impact in the world. We're also in London, which is a great advantage when you are a student, when you're an MBA student. Coming to London will allow you to be plugged into the global networks that London offers in literally all of the sectors you can think of, from finance to professional services to consumer entrepreneurship and so on. London is a global city with employment opportunities that our careers team can connect you with.
Well, I mean, we talk about that background, but of course you don't have to be an engineer to then successfully apply to the business school. It really is then that curriculum. Let's talk a little bit about the MBA program itself and how students can sort of personalize the core curriculum and exposing them to many of the technical skills that they're going to need for that leadership journey. Talk us through the different opportunities and courses that they have available to them.
So we have actually just refreshed and updated our program to make it more flexible. And that means that our MBA candidates, what they can do is they can sort of think about what is it who is it that I am, and where is it that I want to go, and then customize their curriculum as much as possible towards the trajectory they want to go towards. So we have introduced, apart from the core modules that are give you everything that you need as a basic, we have introduced a flex core that consists of an additional number of modules where you have to choose a certain number, and then you can choose 6 electives on top of that. What I would like to add is we have at any point in time 750 MBA students who study with us across our suite of programs, and so in those electives you will have the opportunity to meet them, and hence have a larger network to draw from in addition to studying with your cohort.
Tell us a little bit about the entrepreneurial journey, which is something very personal to you. You oversee that particular part of the program. Is that entrepreneurship in terms of, maybe one day I want to start up my own business? Some of your research has actually looked at entrepreneurship within, multinational organizations. So how does that fit into the culture and opportunities?
So the way our program is structured is we offer the opportunity to do a project. And so what project you're doing depends on a specialism that you would like to study. We have several specialisms: finance, analytics, entrepreneurship, and a general one. And depending on the specialism, you choose your project. The projects are always group projects, and so the entrepreneurial journey is the group project for those who choose the entrepreneurial specialism. It's a substantive module where you work on a real startup opportunity, on a product idea, and you develop that over time across several months with your colleagues into a proposition, a business proposition that you can pitch, that you will pitch in front of a panel of investors that we will put together. Of course, what the entrepreneurial journey does, it's not only about startups, but it's also about generating concepts for new products within the corporation, because the process that you go through from ideation to market segmentation to customer discovery and so on is the same, whether you do it as a startup or within a large corporation. And so it's the entrepreneurial methodology that is key to this module.
The viewers at Centre Court, of course, are looking at their next steps and the world's top business schools. How do you feel? You've been with Imperial College Business School now for over 13 years. What do you feel are the key differentiators that really make the MBA program stand out?
Okay, so I would say the following. So in several points. The first is that when you come to Imperial, we aim to educate you as a leader who is technology aware and knows about the potential that technology can bring to you and the organization. Being part of a globally leading technology university, of course, helps, and we use being at Imperial in order to achieve that goal. For example, we have just introduced a new module. It's called AI Ventures, where that is a joint module where you will study together with master students from the computing department. And so we're offering opportunities, and this is only one of them, for you to be immersed into the world of technology, so you can acquire the knowledge and be aware of all the technological opportunities that are out there for organizations to use. The second part is we put major emphasis on experiential learning. So this is the project that we mentioned before. We offer a range of opportunities for you to actually not just learning something, but achieving something as on the basis of what you have learned in the modules. And thirdly, we're based in London. This is a center where you find major opportunities to connect with employers, with internship opportunities, and so on.
With that technology awareness, and you were talking earlier about the core curriculum that really then provides those sort of fundamentals, perhaps some of the hard skills. But as we then look at the more personal leadership journey and the soft skills that you're also then accompanying with the Leads program is perhaps one good example. Talk us through that sort of accompaniment to really provide both sides of an individual's personal and professional development. So,
of course, an MBA involves learning some of the technical skills like finance, accounting, and so on. However, we also want you to walk away as somebody who knows how to behave in an organization, how to lead in an organization, how to take other people with you, and how to envision things and get things done in an organizations. So the Leads module that we have just newly designed is a module that puts focus on first of all knowing what it takes to acquire those skills, but then also the opportunity for a lot of practice opportunities for you to try out those skills. It will start as a very intensive module at the beginning, a week long or so at the beginning of your program. It will continue over the year and then end with a with an experiential capstone project at an external location.
Right, and as they then head off into exciting career opportunities across industries and sectors, a very global business landscape that London epitomizes. How, with the Leeds program and the support that you're providing, does that prepare them, among 700 students, the 100 more and more in the full-time MBA program, but all of the others, or even the students they're interacting with from the computer science department that you mentioned earlier? How does that level of interaction support that sort of leadership development that they go through?
So I would see it as a sort of circles. You study, which is about 70 people or so, 70 or 80 people, and you work with them very intensively over a whole year. You achieve things, you pitch projects, you work on opportunities, and so on. So this is your inner circle, and those will be your this will be the center of the network that you will carry forward in your career. But then there's a wider concentric circle, which is the cohorts of the other programs, students from other faculties, people you meet through the enterprise lab, where that offers pitch and mix sessions, and so on, as well as the integration into the ecosystem that we have built within and across Imperial, that doesn't just include business school students and staff, but also people from other faculties. And so these kinds of connections hopefully will stimulate you enough during your program to enhance your learning, but also give you then follow-on opportunities for example, following entrepreneurial opportunities, finding some consulting projects to do, as well as potential job opportunities going forward.
If I sat down with those 70, 80 students, perhaps in the first week or two of the MBA program with all of their hopes and expectations, and then met up with them a year, 18 months later, and they reflected on that personal journey that they've taken, what do you think are some of the feedback or the things that really stood out for them? What sort of things might they share?
So one of the things that our students often mention is that the learning experience that they received or they went through at Imperial was great. Our faculty are great. The sort of intellectual enrichment that they experience during their degree is always something that they mention. Then, of course, everybody's got their own preferences. Some of them really like the strategic consulting project. Others like the entrepreneurial project. But it is often those kinds of more integrative, practice-based experiences and projects that people mention as memorable, and also as something that they can mention when they go out and do interviews.
Right. So what next? You've got this range of programs. The online MBA program is among the top ranked in the world, and the EdTech lab that supports that sort of pedagogical innovation. As you think about the full-time MBA program and how it will continue to evolve in the next 3-5 years, what do you see in the future?
I think what we're seeing is that business is no longer operating or seen as operating in a vacuum from society. There is more and more demands from all kinds of stakeholders outside or alongside business, as well as people inside business, saying business needs to engage far more strongly with the stakeholders it involves, and in stakeholders it impacts while operating. And so what we have started already is we are reviewing, and we have reviewed all of the content and the ethos of the program with respect to following those principles that are suggested by the sustainability agenda, but also by the imperative of business needing to be more responsive and more responsible towards societal concerns and societal impact. So this is an agenda that will be continuing. One of the ways in which this will be shaped at Imperial is in its connection with technology. So organizations are of course users, they are creators as well as users of technology. And technology, not everything can be solved with technology, but technology can do a lot in terms of, for example, enhancing productivity, creating new sources of value, minimizing negative impacts, and so on. So our ambition and our goal is to find ways for our graduates to learn how to find those technologies, how to judge them, how to evaluate them, and how to find the right people who can they can work with to mobilize those technologies and build those technologies into the workings of organizations, which doesn't mean exclusively just the tech sector, but it's relevant for all of the sectors. All sectors will have a need for people who know how to deploy technologies to improve the workings of the organization and to establish new business opportunities.
Right. Well, the next annual conference, I think, focuses on deep tech, also now with the wonderful new space that you've opened up at the Scale space. Clearly, it's a school that continues to look forward, but with that sense of responsibility and sustainability. Markus, I'm delighted that you're able to join us and share perhaps some of the personal perspectives, but as you continue to think about the relevance of the program and how that feeds the energy and ambitions of your students. Thank you very much for being with us at the Centre Court MBA Festival.